Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Daisy Nyakio and this is my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, kindly I'm requesting you subscribe and like this video and my previous videos. If you haven't watched, please watch them and subscribe, and then also engage me in the comments. Tell me what you feel about them, and you can even suggest some of other videos that you'd wish to have me do, and I'll be glad to do them. As you can see, I'm in the farm. I was just taking a stroll, and as I was reflecting about my life, like you can see from the topic of today, I wanted to address something about pressure to get married. This is something that happened to me, but I thank God it's now in the past. And I felt that it's good that I share it and some of the tips which I undertook to be able to come out of that pressure of getting married, because I believe, especially in this society and more so in Africa, we have so many people that feel that they are entitled into meddling in someone's life. I'm sorry if I'm using harsh language, but so many people feel entitled on what happens into other people's life. You'll find many young girls are getting into marriage not because they were ready, not because they were prepared, not because they were yearning for it, but because they succumb to societal pressures, internal pressures, social media pressure, pressure from relatives, some even parents. And I thought that maybe in this video I might give 1 or 2 tips on how I overcame that pressure, and it can also help you in one way or the other. If you are there and you are at the verge of giving up and feeling like life is so much unfair, there is too much pressure from people, too much expectations from people, or even from within, I send you love and light. I understand. I was there before and I overcame, and you too can overcome. I remember the first time I got a remark insinuating that I should get married was immediately after my graduation in the year 2016. Someone, just a stranger, approached me and told me that now that you have finished school, you have graduated, you have no other business apart from now getting married, looking for a man, you get married, bear him children, and that's all. This person never even bothered to know whether I was maybe dating someone, because obviously you cannot get married without having a partner. They never bothered to know about my mental state. Am I ready to start a family? Am I ready to bear kids? Am I even ready to start a family? Or maybe I had other career aspirations, maybe to pursue further learning, to pursue my career, to keep on building myself up. Or maybe whether I had chosen to remain celibate for the rest of my life. They never bothered about that. But they felt that I should hint to their opinion that now that I've graduated, I need to start a family, to bear children, and all that. It was a lengthy talk, but I simply ignored the person. That was the first time I encountered it. And because I was prepared, the moment I graduated at 22 years. And there are people's expectations once you turn 20 years, others 25 years. They expect you to get married and all that. But I knew what I wanted in life. I had my life figured out. And I had engaged God all through the education journey, and I knew what I wanted from there onwards. And the reason as to why I'm doing this video is because I overcame. At that time, I never took those ones so seriously, though they triggered me a lot, but I just ignored. Then I stayed from 2016. I got married this year, 2022. That is approximately 5 years. What were mathematics? Okay, that's approximately 5 years. It's almost 6 years from the time I graduated. How did I manage to stay for all those years? Was I dating back then? How did I not get into the trap of rushing into marriage immediately after campus? And I'm not saying that getting married immediately after campus is wrong. No. If you are ready, or even if you are ready even to get married while still in campus, that's okay, because I could see some of my comrades, my colleagues, my classmates getting married while still in their course of study. But as for me, I was not ready. And therefore, someone is telling me that I should get married immediately after campus, I felt that that's kind of exerting some pressure on me. Then it went on. Sometimes you find yourself in gatherings and someone approaches you. Every time you are celebrating a birthday, someone is there to remind you that you are not getting any younger, which is right. Yes, I don't doubt that. I don't say it's a bad thing. Some might say in a joking manner or maybe with clean intentions, but I think it's always good to be considerate of other people's feelings. Therefore, I decided to create my own rules on how to cope, because I knew that I had a long way to go. I knew that I would not get married anytime soon. This is something that I had discussed with my ex-boyfriend, whom we parted ways, and I stayed for 3 good years before getting to another relationship. And when I felt ready to start another relationship again, after taking a good 3 years break, I was able to find another partner, and I thank God because the relationship went well, and we are even married. We are now 4 months. Sorry, we are now 4 months into marriage, and I thank God because I made that decision to wait. So some of the tips that I used, one of them is that I had to be strong and strong enough to withstand the pressure. I know it's not something easy. Some people are so faint-hearted. You'll hear comments from one or two people and you feel like enough is enough, and you decide to rush into marriage so that you can fit into their expectations. But if you are not ready, please just ask God for wisdom, ask God for strength to remain, ask God for strength to remain focused on what you want to pursue, to withstand all the pressure, because you don't just need to be strong, you need to be strong enough. Because you'll find yourself maybe in a church setup. You find that even people, some church youths younger than you are getting married, and you are there as a senior youth, you are not getting married. Maybe it's in your family gatherings, you have some younger cousins, younger relatives who are getting married, having children. Their parents have grandchildren, but your parents don't have any because you are not married. Therefore, at that moment, your inner self can be even pressuring you. You can feel like you are getting even pressure from inside you. You get into social media every day, you see videos on YouTube, on Facebook, people proposing to each other. You see people celebrating their weddings. Some are your friends, but you are there, maybe you are dating, but your partner is not yet ready to commit, or maybe you are not in a stable state to start a family, and you start getting pressure. It requires a strong heart to withstand that pressure. I know how it feels. I've been there. I ask God for enough strength, not just strength, but enough strength to focus on my life, on my relationship with God, and other things, came, and they came hundredfold. So there is that thing of giving yourself that strength, inner strength. You be bold enough, you stand firm, yeah, and that way you'll be able to overcome the pressure. And when you'll feel ready to commit, ready to start a family, then you'll do it. Another thing that worked for me is that I changed my circle. Before I used to hang out with young people who had now become parents, who are some even were recently married, and therefore at that moment, due to that heat of no, I'm a newlywed, I recently got married, I'm now a mother, I have a child. Every time you are around them, you might be feeling so uncomfortable. Every time they are speaking about their partners, about their children, how they are taking their children to the school, to the hospital, how they want to go and cook for their husbands. And at that moment, maybe you are single, or maybe you are dating, or you are not in a good relationship with your partner, and therefore you feel so much discouraged. You feel like giving up. You can even have the pressure, like you feel like leaving your partner and looking for someone else who will marry you instantly. Yeah, you can feel reach such a moment. But the moment you change your circle, maybe you start hanging out with people whom you share similar values, people that can understand you, people who are in the same season as you. You can look for other people like maybe of your age, church youths of your age, that you have similar hobbies, similar interests. Those people that maybe you are in a season of waiting with them too. At least those people can be of great help. You can keep each other company. You can keep on encouraging one another. You can be holding fellowships together, praying for each other, that God gives you your heart desires and all that. But the moment you hang up out with married people, they'll always talk about their spouses while in their midst. You have nothing to speak about. You can't contribute your opinion because you are not married. You'll feel out of place. So please change your circle. Apart from being strong and asking God for strength to withstand the pressure, please change your circle. Hang out with people who share similar values with you. Hang out with people who understand you, understand what you are passing through, people that understand your season. And that way you'll be able to divert yourself, to divert your thoughts from those imaginations of starting your own family and you are not ready. That's another tip that worked for me. Another tip is that do not rush. There's one of the scriptures that I always love that says that in God's own timing, He'll make everything beautiful. Is it your desire to have a beautiful family, a dream wedding, get a very good family, a nice partner, and all that? Do not rush. Learn to wait. Because I know being told to wait is one of the hardest thing, is one of the worst one that you would wish to tell someone tells to you, that wait. But one thing I've come to learn is that waiting on God brings fruits at the end. In my season of waiting, that is after my previous breakup, I waited for 3 years. In those 3 years, I was not into any rush to get into another relationship, because you can rush and end up getting into another toxic relationship because you are afraid of staying alone, because you are afraid of being tagged like you are not normal, maybe you are tough, maybe you are not lovable, that's why you are single for all those years. But my friend, as long as you know what you want, please do not rush yourself. At least be kind to yourself. Give yourself time, work on yourself. Take that time to reflect on the goodness of God. Like I remember during those 3 years, I was so much busy. I had to, apart from when I was working, other extra time, I looked for hobbies that I can do during my free time to avoid thinking about marriage and all that stuff and singlehood. I could go for fellowships, seminars, conferences. Like I gave myself in too much into serving God. And I know that in serving God, your labor in God is not in vain. God rewards. God is a rewarder. Yeah. So do not rush. Give yourself time. If you had a past breakup that left you wooden, give yourself time to heal. Heal, get ready, work on yourself, work on those positive traits that you wish to have. Make yourself your dream woman, the woman that you wish to be. Yeah, you use that opportunity, that season of waiting. Just use it well for your own, and you can even advance your career. You can pursue another course, like look for something extra, like to disrupt you from thinking about all those societal pressures, all those internal pressures. And that way, before you realize it, you'll have advanced yourself, you'll have worked on yourself, you'll have become something well praised and better praised even to love again, because we can't be perfect, but at least you'll have enough time to work on your imperfections. So please do not rush and work on yourself. Love yourself. You are enough. Being single is not a disease. There are so many single ladies here who are not even desperate, so it's not like a disease. It's not an epidemic to be single. It's just a season, and if it's one day it's your desire that you'll have a family, you'll get married, it will surely come. Keep on trusting in God. Keep on working on yourself. Give yourself time. Do not rush yourself. Do not give in to pressure. Just wait on God, and in His own timing, He'll make everything beautiful. And probably the last one that I didn't, the last tip, that there are so many tips on how to handle pressure. Pressure to get married, pressure to get children and all that. But one other thing that worked to me, and I know even cost me so many relationships, even in my place of work, because you find that maybe your colleagues are always nagging you that you should get married and all that. And since it makes yourself uncomfortable, you start drifting away from them. To me, that was a mechanism of being able to not give in and to succumb to the pressure. And that tip is set firm boundaries. Yes, you can set boundaries, but they may not be firm enough. Like every time pressure comes in, they are just broken, and you find yourself in the mess again of the pressure. But when you set firm boundaries and make those people that are involved in giving you pressure, make them understand your actions, your decisions, your motives, and even that you are not succumbing to their nagging pressures anymore. Just set firm boundaries, communicate. Let them know that you are not in a hurry to get married. Let them know that they are not entitled into your life, and you don't owe them any explanation on when you are settling down, on how many children you love. That's your decision and maybe your partner's decision. The reason as to why I've said this is because you might find yourself, maybe you are among your colleagues, and just like any other insensitive person, they might start a discussion around you, discussing about your private life, wanting to get answers from you. But it's okay to decline to respond to them and simply walk away. That's one way of setting boundaries. Make them know that you are not comfortable speaking about your personal life. It's your personal life, and they should not have any audacity, or they have no issue being meddling into your personal life, into your private life. Just communicate your boundaries and let them respect it, and that's final. If you are not comfortable, if they speak triggering things that might trigger you, it's okay to walk away. It's okay to even give yourself a break away from them. If they are colleagues, just do the work that took you there, perform your duties well, but anything concerning your personal life, let them know that they are boundaries. They are work boundaries, they are personal boundaries, and they need to know the difference. If you are colleagues, please let's stick to the work. Let the relationship be between an employee versus my fellow colleague. Maybe you are an employee versus your boss. Let the relationship remain work related. Anything personal, anything concerning your own life, it's none of their business. That way, at least, you'll be able to manage the pressure. Because the moment you are so much open, too much open about your personal life, people will people need to respect privacy, and privacy is power. What people don't know, they cannot hurt. I remember during my time, by the time those people that were always laughing at me, thinking that I will never get married soon, little did they know that my relationship was so much intimate. We were even approaching to get married, so it was a shocker to them when they finally learned that I'm getting married, I'm planning a wedding. It was a shock to them. They were so shocked, they could not believe it. They never saw me dating because I had kept my love life very private. Yes, except for my small circle of friends, the people that understood me, people that we could pray together, pray about our relationship together. Those are the people that knew about the relationship. But any other person, I had cut all ties. Anything negative, anyone that would give me any form of pressure, I had to protect myself at all costs. I had to set a boundary. Yes, and it worked. It can also work for you. I know I've spoken a lot of things, but this is one of the most intimate things that I feel that there are so many people that can relate with. So many people are being pressured to give birth. Like now, I recently got married, and you might have see some people maybe talking in content language, insinuating that they should start seeing some changes in my body, maybe being pregnant. But one thing is that one thing they don't know is that they are not entitled to my life. They don't know what we decided as a couple. Maybe we might even have decided to be child free, or maybe to wait for like 2 years before bearing children, or maybe we're in a season of waiting and all that. So there are so many things that people need to learn, never to meddle into people's affairs. You might be pressuring a young lady, a young man to bring you someone, maybe on Christmas. Please bring us somebody. Maybe that person is battling depression. They are not financially stable to start a family. Or maybe they are not even lucky enough to find someone that matches them, to find their match. So maybe they are not yet dating, or someone might have even gotten over another bitter relationship and they are trying to heal, but you are there pressuring them to get married. Please, let's always be considerate of other people's lives. If someone is not open to share their own personal life with you, please learn to keep distant until they will be free, or they welcome you to comment or to advise on their personal life. Please avoid meddling into people's affairs. Yeah, so those were the tips that worked for me. Maybe anyone that relates with the thing that I've shared, or maybe you also overcame, you can comment down below. You can help someone who is at the verge of succumbing at the verge of to almost succumb to pressure. You can share down below what worked for you. Whatever I've shared is what worked for me. I'll continue bringing more real, authentic, and truthful incidences that I overcame. And I know by sharing my stories, in one way or the other, it might help someone else out there. So thank you for watching. I wish you well. And to those trusting God for marriage, those trusting God for relationships, I wish you well and all the best. Thank you.